Welcome to Heart Magic Wisdom. Today's video is called Happiness is Not Optional. So what I want to say by this is that if you're not happy, then this has a negative effect on your life, like it's a downward spiral. And the effect of this is so bad that you really need to break out of it. So let's look at how we as people navigate our lives. So what we have is all sorts of inputs like sight and sound, but also we have a voice talking in our head. We have a feeling that's good or bad or somewhere in between. And we have a focus point that you can move around. This is more or less all the ingredients we have when we go through our life. So now, if you're unhappy, this has to do with the emotional state. This means the emotional state is bad. And the emotional state can be seen as an indicator, like an indicator light on a dashboard in the car, or like the battery percentage on your phone. It tells you something about the system. It tells you something about you. And also, if you don't take the input seriously, like your check engine light is on in the car, and then later the car breaks down because you ignored the indicator, or your phone dies because the battery is at 0%, then you could have prevented that if you took the indicator seriously. So now this emotional indicator tells you bad, unhappy, not good. And if you ignore it, then you will run into all kinds of more annoying problems. So it's best not to ignore it, but it's not so easy that you can just say, well, I can fix it by saying, well, just be happy. And then you're like, oh, cool, thanks for the message. Now I'm just happy. You can't just override the display. First of all, you can't. And second of all, what would that even mean? But you have other options, and in our metaphor with the car or the phone, it would mean you bring the car to your mechanic or you plug the phone into the outlet. And so notice here also, you don't just override the battery percentage, you take some sort of action to fix the problem. And in this case, the feeling of being unhappy, of feeling bad, indicates that there is a problem with your internal system, your body-mind system. I mean, it can also indicate additionally that there is something wrong with the world or the situation overall, but that's a secondary problem and you cannot directly fix it from where you're standing right now. So what you first must fix is your body-mind system. And so now, while you are trying different strategies to fix your body-mind system, you can keep one eye on the emotional indicator and try to really get a very precise measurement. For many people, that's not something that they are used to. They don't really tune into the emotion very specifically and see whether it goes up just the tiniest bit or down just the tiniest bit. You know, it's just like on your phone, either you have only the icon or you have the exact percentage. And if you only have the icon, you maybe not see if the battery goes down from 65% to 55%. It looks the same. But if you had the number, then maybe you would know. And when you go through your day and maybe you feel just the tiniest bit better or the tiniest bit worse, maybe you don't even notice that. But this is a very important skill to have, and you should really train this. So you go through your day and you do stuff in the world, and while you're doing this, you pay attention just with a part of your awareness on if now your emotional state goes down a little bit or goes up a little bit. And if you do this, you will notice the following two things. First of all, the emotional state is connected to your thoughts, and the emotional state is also connected to your focus. So let's do the focus one first with an example. So let's say you walk along a road and there's many things to focus on. You could focus on other people and what they are talking about. You could focus on maybe there's flowers or trees nearby, maybe there's a river, maybe there is a cloud in front of the sun right now and it's blocking the sunlight. So now what do you focus on? Do you focus on the fact that there's no sunlight right now, but probably there will be again in 5 minutes? Or what kind of things do you focus on if other people are talking? So people are walking by you, and like some people talk about happy things and some people talk about things that make them angry, and you just hear some parts of their conversation. And now these are all inputs, but you can focus on the stuff that you want. I mean, you don't have to focus on that the sun is not coming through right this second. And you don't have to focus on this one guy that just said something that you thought was stupid or wrong or whatever. So this is the outward focus, but inward focus works the same way. So like, let's say one thought that you have says, oh yeah, and this reminds me of that one time where this bad thing happened to me, and it's just annoying. And I'm still annoyed to this day. So, okay, now what do you do with this thought? Do you focus on it? Or is it just like, well, somebody said something, but sure, whatever, and you move on? And sometimes, you're outside playing with friends and everything is fine. And then one person in the group says, oh, I wish the cloud would just move faster so the sun would come back. And you were having such a good time, you didn't even think about the sun in this second, because it's overall maybe a more or less sunny day with just some clouds. And you didn't even notice that the sun was gone because your focus was on the overall good vibe. You didn't even notice that there was a quote unquote problem. So these are just some examples about how you have the power to focus on different things, and sometimes even depending on the situation, if your focus is on something, in this example positive, you don't even realize something that may be negative that you could have focused on. And on the other hand, there's also situations where so many negative things are maybe going on right now in this present moment that you don't see this one positive thing that's happening also right now. Maybe you're in an argument and people are blaming each other, but maybe on the other side of the road, a little child helps an animal cross the road or something, and you just don't see it. Your focus isn't there. So what I want to say with all these things is that the focus is something you can control, and the emotional state is not something you can directly control. But the next connecting piece is that the focus will change the emotions. So if you do this exercise that we talked before, this practice that we talked about before, you will notice that while you are shifting your focus towards something more negative, your emotional state will go down a little bit. And if you shift your focus towards something positive, your emotional state will go up a little bit. And now also the thoughts are also connected to the, let's say, overall state of your system. They are also a reflection of your body-mind system. So if the emotions are bad, the thoughts you will have are thoughts about how things are negative and how there is a problem. And if your emotions are good, your thoughts will be thoughts about solutions. So what this means is that you need the positive emotion to actually have thoughts to solve the problem. And if you want to solve the problem, if you want things to get better, you need thoughts that tell you ideas how to solve the problem. So it's all connected. And you can either be in a downward loop or in an upward loop. So the emotion feels bad. The thought tells you, well, it's hopeless. It's always the same. It's just unfair. So there is no solution. The focus is on the negative things. Emotional state stays down. But if you can manage to realize that the system works in the way that I describe it, then you shift your focus to something better. Emotional state goes up. Your thoughts maybe tell you, oh, isn't that cool? I actually have now some power. I can do something. I want to do something, and I will do something. The something that you do is focusing on positive things. Emotional state goes up, and more thoughts open up to you that tell you how actually it's not so bad after all, and that there is a solution, and they tell you ideas of how to solve the problem. And this is just how it works. And there is nobody who can do this job for you. You need to do this job all the time. And it's not such a hard job, especially when you're in a good emotional state already. But if you're in a negative state, everything probably feels hard. But you just need to realize that there's just a limited amount of things that you can even do. There's not so many levers you can pull or buttons you can push. You are in a very limited kind of option set, and you need to utilize your option set correctly. Otherwise, it will be the same problem all your life. While the fix, if you have this information, is very easy, and you can train it and it will become automatic. So to summarize, when you feel negative emotions, it's an indication and you should take it seriously. The negative emotion matters. It's an indication to tell you you need to do something. It's like the battery percentage, like the car check engine light. It tells you action required. And the action is to shift the focus. And it's important. And you could even say the worse the emotion is, the more it's like urgent, do something, please, right now. So yeah, I hope you understand the concept. I hope this makes sense to you. Please let me know what you think, and thank you for watching. See you soon.